Varun, sometimes I feel like our generation is walking through a fog. Everyone around us is running so fast, but no one really knows where they're going. And the funny part is, people pretend they have it all figured out. But deep inside, there's a restlessness, a confusion that nobody wants to admit.
You're right, Arjun. And I think this confusion is not because people don't have dreams. It's because the world around them keeps shifting before their dreams can even take shape. Every 6 months, a new technology arrives. Every year, a new mindset becomes modern. Expectations keep changing, and people feel they're always one step behind.
Exactly. And that's why success feels complicated today. Earlier, success was like a straight road. You do this, you get that, simple. But now it feels like you're driving through a maze with moving walls. And the pressure to keep up, oh man, it's exhausting.
But you know what's interesting? The real problem is not the fast world. The real problem is that people don't know how to adapt to it. They think success comes from perfect planning, but actually, it comes from flexibility, from learning how to adjust without losing yourself.
True. And the root of that flexibility is confidence. But confidence today is misunderstood. People think confidence means having a loud voice, a cool personality, or 100 compliments on Instagram.
But real confidence doesn't come from praise, Arjun. It comes from progress, even tiny progress. Like going to the gym and lifting a small weight, and next week lifting slightly more. Or learning one new skill today and using it slightly better tomorrow. That slow upward curve builds a foundation inside you.
And once that foundation grows, the world stops feeling overwhelming. You stop comparing yourself. You stop chasing validation. You begin to respect yourself. And that self-respect is honestly magnetic. People feel it before you even speak.
But here's something people rarely admit. Many of them unknowingly speak the language of victimhood. Life is unfair, people don't understand me, opportunities never come to me. These sentences quietly destroy self-respect. And once self-respect collapses, confidence automatically falls.
That's true. And you know something interesting? The world is allergic to victim energy. Not because people are cruel, but because victimhood removes your power. It makes you feel like life is happening to you instead of happening for you.
And the moment you pick responsibility, genuine responsibility, you immediately create power inside yourself. That's why I always tell younger people, find a controlled environment. Somewhere you can measure progress. Gym, coding, writing, martial arts, anything where effort equals improvement.
Because once your mind experiences progress in one area, it becomes confident enough to try other areas. You recreate yourself. And that's the hardest part of success today. Recreation.
Yes, people want change, but they don't want to kill the older version of themselves. And without killing the old version, the new one doesn't appear. It's like leveling up in a video game. You might be powerful at level 1, but terrible at level 2, and almost helpless at level 30.
But that's what makes success beautiful. Every level demands a new version of you. And once you understand this, failure stops scaring you. Instead, it becomes a signal. Time to evolve.
And evolution becomes faster or slower depending on who speaks in your ear. One wrong voice can delay your life by 5 to 10 years. One right voice can change your direction in 5 minutes. I've seen both happen. Friends destroyed by negative circles, and others accelerated by the right mentors.
Nowadays, the most important skill is not intelligence or talent. It's filtering. Filtering opinions, filtering content, filtering people. Because too much information creates mental overload. And overloaded minds lose ambition.
That's why clarity is becoming rare. Not because people lack potential, but because they lack silence. They don't give themselves space to listen to their own thoughts. And without inner clarity, outer success becomes impossible.
And this is why I always tell people, forget planning for 20 years. The world is changing too fast. But almost everyone can imagine the next 3 years clearly. A 3-year dream sharpens decisions. It removes confusion. It tells you whom to keep in your life and whom to outgrow.
Speaking of life, relationships are such an underrated success factor. A supportive partner multiplies your ambition. A draining partner kills your energy. People think relationships are a side chapter, but actually, they shape your psychology more than anything else.
Yes, and this becomes even more important in the age of AI, because AI is replacing jobs, but it cannot replace emotional strength, self-awareness, discipline, or creative judgment. If a person uses AI as a tool, they become more valuable. If they ignore AI, they become replaceable.
Exactly. The rule is simple. Either you learn how to use AI, or someone who uses AI will replace you. That's the truth. But AI is not the enemy. Lack of adaptability is.
And I feel slowly the meaning of success is shifting, not from money or fame, but from identity. Success today is about whether you're becoming the kind of person who can handle change without breaking, whether you can stay grounded when everything around you is shaking. And that inner rhythm you build, your rhythm of learning, failing, evolving, adjusting, that is the new definition of success. It's quiet, it's not glamorous, but it's powerful. So the next step for anyone listening is not to ask, what should I do? The real question is, which part of my rhythm needs attention right now? Because once that rhythm becomes steady, the direction becomes natural, and the journey starts to reveal itself step by step.
You know, Varun, when we talk about rhythm, we are not talking about something poetic. We are talking about the very pattern of how a person lives each day. Their thinking rhythm, their emotional rhythm, their learning rhythm. And most people, they never stop to examine their own rhythm. They just wake up, react, and repeat.
That's true. And the funny thing is, people think success starts with action, but actually, success starts with awareness. If you don't know your rhythm, you end up fighting your own mind. You work for 2 days with passion, then disappear for 2 weeks. You start things fast, but you finish things slow. And that inconsistency silently eats your future.
And inconsistency is not a personality flaw. It's a signal that the rhythm is broken. Sometimes it breaks because of stress, sometimes because of fear, sometimes because of distractions, and sometimes because a person is living a life that is not truly theirs.
Yes, and that's why you see so many young people today burning out, giving up, restarting, burning out again. It's not because they are weak, it's because their rhythm is misaligned with who they actually want to become.
And alignment comes when you stop copying everyone, when you stop chasing trends, when you stop comparing your journey with someone else's highlight reel, when you sit with yourself and ask, what kind of pace feels true to me?
That's powerful, Arjun. And I feel the moment a person discovers their true pace, they immediately reduce anxiety. Because anxiety often comes from trying to run at someone else's speed.
Very true. Some people are fast starters, some are slow burners, some need silence, some need pressure. Some work best early morning, some come alive at night. The world tries to force one formula on everyone, but real success comes when you respect your natural rhythm.
And once you find that rhythm, you can build habits around it. Not habits that look aesthetic on social media, but habits that genuinely stick because they match your internal wiring.
Exactly. And once habits flow with rhythm, discipline becomes effortless. People think discipline is torture, but actually, discipline feels natural when the rhythm is right.
That's so true. When rhythm aligns, even tough tasks feel lighter. But when rhythm is broken, even simple things feel impossible. Getting up on time, reading a few pages, learning a skill, going to the gym, everything feels heavy.
And this heaviness should never be ignored. It's a signal. Your mind is telling you something. Sometimes it's telling you to rest. Sometimes it's telling you to reset. Sometimes it's telling you to leave a certain environment. And sometimes it's telling you that the version of you trying to move forward is outdated.
Outdated version. That's a big one. People don't realize how quickly life changes. A version of you that worked last year may not work this year. And if you hold on to that old version, you get stuck.
Exactly. So the art of success is the art of renewal. A person who renews themselves every few months, they stay ahead of life. And a person who refuses to evolve, they feel like life is leaving them behind.
And renewal doesn't mean big changes, right? It can be small things, changing a routine, shifting your priorities, upgrading a mindset, learning a new tool, meeting new people, sometimes even ending old habits that no longer serve you.
Yes, renewal is gentle but powerful. And once a person starts practicing renewal, confidence rises naturally. Because confidence comes from seeing yourself grow even in small ways.
You know what I feel, Arjun? I feel the next big shift in the world won't be technology. It will be self-awareness. People who understand themselves deeply will navigate life better than the ones who simply chase trends.
I agree. And that's why conversations like this matter, because they give people language. Sometimes people feel something inside, but they don't have the words for it. And when you give them words, you give them clarity. And clarity becomes direction.
And direction becomes momentum. And momentum becomes transformation.
Exactly. And transformation doesn't require perfection. It just requires movement. Even slow movement creates compounding changes over time.
And maybe that's the most important message here, Arjun. That the modern world is fast, yes, but success doesn't belong to the fastest. It belongs to the most aware, the most adaptable, the most aligned.
Yes, Varun. And this alignment, this awareness, this rhythm, it is not a one-time discovery. It's a lifelong dance. And that dance continues every single day, in every decision, in every challenge, in every rising moment of discomfort.
You know, Arjun, the more I think about it, the more I realize that most people are not failing because of lack of intelligence or lack of opportunities. They are failing because they don't know how to handle friction. The moment life pushes back a little, they collapse. Not because they are weak, but because no one taught them how to dance with resistance.
That's an important point. Life will always push back. Every dream creates pressure. Every goal demands sacrifice. Every upgrade requires discomfort. The question is never, will life test you? The real question is, how do you respond when it does?
Yes, and most people react emotionally. They take resistance personally. They assume the universe is against them. But resistance is neutral. It's just part of the path. A weight in the gym isn't your enemy. It's your instrument. Without it, muscles don't grow. Without challenges, character doesn't grow.
Exactly. And once someone understands that resistance isn't punishment, but preparation, something shifts inside them. They don't run from difficulty anymore. They face it with calmness. And that calmness is a superpower today.
Calmness is underrated. Everyone talks about confidence, motivation, passion, but calmness is the quiet force that keeps you from making desperate decisions. Calmness protects your direction. Calmness protects your energy. Calmness protects your future.
And calmness doesn't mean being emotionless. It means not letting temporary emotions destroy long-term vision. It's the inner maturity to choose clarity over chaos.
And you know, Arjun, I've realized something recently. People think motivation is what makes a person succeed. But actually, it's clarity. Motivation comes and goes, but clarity creates consistent action.
Yes, clarity is the North Star. When you know where you're going, even a small step feels meaningful. When you don't know where you're going, even running fast feels pointless.
That's why we see so many people working hard but feeling empty. They're moving but not progressing. They're busy but not aligned. And the busyness gives them a fake sense of productivity.
Busyness is the new distraction. In the past, distraction was laziness. Today, distraction is overstimulation, thinking movement equals growth. But without direction, movement is just noise.
Exactly. And one of the biggest sources of noise today is comparison. People compare their timeline with someone else's highlight reel. Someone else's achievement becomes their insecurity. Someone else's achievement becomes their self-doubt.
Comparison destroys rhythm. It pulls you out of your natural pace and pushes you into a race you were never meant to run. And the moment your mind starts running someone else's race, you lose connection with your own inner voice.
And once that connection breaks, it's very hard to know what you truly want. You start chasing what looks impressive instead of what feels meaningful.
Yes. And meaning is the real fuel. People think excitement is fuel. But excitement fades. Meaning stays. A life built on meaning stays strong even in storms.
And meaning often comes from contribution, from knowing that something you do is making life better for someone else, even in a small way.
Contribution gives direction. Direction gives purpose. Purpose gives resilience. And resilience gives success.
So actually, Arjun, success is not the end of the journey. Success is the byproduct of alignment. When your actions align with your values, when your pace aligns with your nature, when your dreams align with your strengths, success naturally follows.
Yes, Varun. An alignment is not something you find once and keep forever. It requires constant auditing, constant recalibration. Every few months, a person must look at their life and ask, is this still me? Or am I growing out of this version?
That's so true. And I think people underestimate how important self-auditing is. Without it, they carry outdated dreams, outdated routines, outdated beliefs, and wonder why life feels heavy.
Exactly. Lightness comes from letting go. Growth comes from updating yourself. And confidence comes from recognizing your evolution.
Maybe that's the core of everything we're discussing. That success in the modern world is not a straight climb. It's a constant reinventing, a daily renewal, a lifelong conversation with yourself.
And that conversation never really ends, Varun. It just gets deeper, softer, more honest, more aligned, more aware. And that awareness becomes the compass for the next phase of your life.
Beautifully said, Varun. And maybe that's what people need to hear today. Not another motivational line, but a reminder that they're allowed to evolve at their own pace. They don't have to be perfect. They just have to stay awake to their own growth.
Right. And even if someone listening feels lost right now, that's okay. Loss is not the opposite of success. Loss is the beginning of clarity. It means your old path no longer fits you, and the new one is waiting.
Exactly. And the moment a person accepts that they're allowed to start again, something releases inside them. The weight drops. The mind softens. The heart opens. And suddenly, the next step becomes visible.
I feel that, Arjun. I really do. And honestly, this conversation has given me clarity too. It's strange, isn't it? We talk to help others, but sometimes the words help us first.
That's the beauty of conversations that come from the heart. They don't just end, they stay with you. They settle in your mind quietly and shape the next chapter without making noise.
So I guess we pause here, right?
Yes, Varun. Not because everything is said, but because some thoughts need silence to grow. Let's leave it here, gently.
Gently. I like that. All right, Arjun. Until next time.
Until next time, Varun.